It is video that just makes you cringe. You've seen it before, that orange sludge from the mine in southwestern Colorado filling the Animas River. Well, today a congressional committee calling on the EPA to tell them what went wrong. 7 News reporter Jennifer Kovaleski watching the hearing. And Jen, I couldn't believe this, but the head of the EPA, Gina McCarthy, didn't even bother to show up.
Eric, she was a no-show. And EPA employees who did show up were grilled by lawmakers about what caused 3 million gallons of mine waste to spill into the Animas River, turning it orange. This is a water sample taken just days after the spill happened. The water is no longer orange now, but lawmakers want to know who's being held accountable.
So why were the warnings ignored? You were on notice for years.
Was the EPA prepared to properly respond to an environmental event of this magnitude?
Lawmakers had tough questions for the EPA about the massive mine spill.
The EPA should be held accountable.
From the start, the chairman of the House committee slammed the agency, calling its actions inexcusable.
The same standards that the EPA applies to private companies should also apply to the EPA itself.
And then he called out EPA Chief Gina McCarthy for not showing up.
Perhaps she doesn't have any good answers.
Instead, the EPA sent Assistant Administrator Matthew Stanislaus, who's overseeing the response to the spill.
I understand you're the cleanup man. You're fourth in the lineup, so as far as batters are concerned, and really you shouldn't even be here.
Stanislaus did acknowledge some mistakes were made.
The emergency response component of the plan did not include the worst-case scenario of a blowout, and that's something that I committed to going forward to make sure that happens.
Other lawmakers, including Arvada Congressman Ed Perlmutter, said while the spill was awful, there's a much larger problem.
We've got thousands of mines in Colorado, many abandoned, many properly closed, with all sorts of issues. And at some point, we've got to address them.
With the EPA saying each year, 300 million gallons of acid mine waste is leaked into the Animas River. A problem they were trying to fix when the blowout occurred at the Gold King mine.
Blaming the EPA for the larger problem of the wastewater release is like blaming firefighters for the forest fire.
At 6, I'll show you dramatic video that shows the moments after the spill occurred. And it's not what you see, but what you don't hear that has lawmakers concerned. Eric?
All right, thanks a lot, Jen.